Right now, Americans, military, and Mexican forces are working together to carry out an intense operation to take down some of the world's most dangerous criminals. All of it is part of a highly skilled mission targeting Mexico's notorious Juarez cartel just south of the border from El Paso. And while the Mexican military carry out coordinated patrols on the southern side, U.S. border helicopters will simultaneously patrol from the north. NewsNation's senior border correspondent Ali Bradley live in El Paso for us to tell us more. All right, Ali, how does this new era of border security look on the ground? What are you seeing there?
Yeah, hey, Laura, we're seeing a reach across the border here as a show of support and cooperation as the U.S. and Mexico conducted that joint operation today in El Paso, as the Juarez cartel was recently designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Now, they join a list of 7 other Mexican cartels already on that list. But today, the message from the Border Patrol was very clear. If you have engaged in terrorist activity or are a member of a terrorist organization or have provided support to an FTO, you will face severe consequences.
I think the cartels understand that they're terrorists. Those lower level people that are helping those cartels, they need to understand that you're not being treated as somebody helping a criminal organization. From now on, you're being treated as someone that's helping a terrorist organization. But I think it's very important for both people on both sides of the border that think, hey, I'm going to help this criminal organization. That day is no longer. Now you are 100% helping a terrorist organization.
Border Patrol adds that the real hammer here is that if an illegal immigrant uses a foreign terrorist organization like the Juarez cartel to smuggle them, they could find themselves with a terrorism bar and be inadmissible and deportable. Now, they really brought out the big guns today. Literally, we're talking Bearcats, Horse Patrol, ATVs. They were all patrolling the area while specialized teams fast roped from a Black Hawk helicopter, including the chief of the sector. At the same time, Mexico was conducting what they call mirror patrols on the south side of the border. It really was a whole of government approach with state and federal partners in lockstep involved in today's show of force. U.S. Border Patrol, CBP Office of Field Operations, CBP Air and Marine, ICE, the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Military Department, U.S. attorneys, and the Mexican military. Now, the agencies convened today because the threats posed by the cartel don't fit neatly into just one jurisdiction. The U.S. attorney representing New Mexico says the Juarez cartel operates with impunity across state lines. The sector is currently seeing between 60 and 70 people cross a day with the help of human smugglers, and 4 or 5 of them are getting away, according to the chief. But their goal is to get that down to 0, and he says they're on the way to achieving that. This comes as DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin told us there's frustration over the cartels and their involvement with high-level officials within the Mexican government. The DEA, meanwhile, says the cartel and the Mexican government are one and the same. Now, Mexican's President Claudia Sheinbaum, she pushed back on those comments, calling them baseless and calling them unfortunate. We did reach out to Mexico regarding DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin's comments, but, Laura, we have not yet heard back.
Wow. Ali Bradley, I mean, that list was really incredible of all of the agencies in an exclusive ride-along with the CBP. What else did the chief tell you? Because I know you had some special one-on-one time to really dig into this.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk to him more about the DEA and the cartel and those comments, right? If they're saying they're one and the same, how can they trust Mexico to carry out their side of the mission and to make sure that the cartel is stopped in its tracks on the south side of the border? Here's what he had to say. The cartel is basically working with Mexican military and things like that. Do you have full trust in the Mexican military that are conducting these mirror patrols to actually stop the cartel or to not be helping them? So how do you trust the Mexican military to do their part if there's kind of this underlying piece that some of them might be corrupt?
Whenever I call them, they respond, and I haven't encountered any corruption at my level. So again, we have local relationships with the Mexican government that are across the border, and they're 100% responsive.
Now, I also asked him if he feels that the Border Patrol should be brought back into interior enforcement, working with ICE and some of their interior enforcement operations. He said they're ready and willing to help if they're needed, but he has not gotten any requests to go in and assist ICE at this juncture.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.